So effectively, only starting August the 6th, so within just 10 short days, Taliban took over the entire nation, including the capital, in a stunning manner. As we all remember, this is the regime that harbor Al-Qaeda and other terrorist group when the Al-Qaeda launched the September 11 attack in the 2001.
In February 2020, the U.S. government and the Taliban signed a peace agreement under the premise that the Taliban abide by the armistice agreement. The U.S. and the NATO members stated agree to withdraw all their troops from Afghanistan within 14 months. And the Taliban also agreed not to allow Al-Qaeda and other extremist organizations operate in the areas under their control. However, just after the United States initiated its withdrawal in early May this year, the Taliban violated agreement and launched a continuous attack on parts of Afghanistan. And it reached a peak in August until they occupied the Afghan capital, Kabul, on August 15th, and then announced the war is over. A lot of people, talk about the fall of Saigon in 1975. So exactly what happened and what was it like on April 30th, 1975 in Saigon, Vietnam, because, that then compared with what we are seeing now in Afghanistan, then we'll probably have a better idea. So let's show, we present you a short clip of what happened in Saigon.
Okay.
So that's the helicopter came to the U.S. Embassy.
This is 46 years ago.
Right.
This is how people ran out of it.
Yeah, and a lot more people, Vietnam people, they were outside of the embassy. They tried to get in.
Yeah, get in means you have a life. If you don't, then it means
they beg for a seat on the helicopters. But
the lady got in.
Yeah, most of them just cannot. And then the helicopter lifted the people to the carrier. Not only the U.S. Marine, but also there were South Vietnam's helicopters also carry people. But because there's no space, they had to push some of the helicopters into the sea. And they saw the pilot jump off the water.
Yeah.
And so that they will have a boat to, rescue him.
Yeah. So basically, he just,
And it carried, the helicopter just continued to lift people overnight, and totally there are about 80 helicopters lift people, in mostly people from the embassy and some of the Vietnamese people, to get them on the carrier, and was able to escape to the United States. And according to the report I saw, about a little over 7,000. 7,000 people were able to escape Saigon. Reporter asked President Biden on July 8th, saying that is Taliban's occupying Afghanistan inevitable? And let's watch.
Mr. President,
is the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan now inevitable?
No, it is not. Because you have the Afghan troops have 300,000 well equipped as any army in the world, and an air force against something like 75,000 Taliban. It is not inevitable.
Okay,
and just last month, yeah.
Right, and another reporter asked him about comparing to Saigon, and let's watch.
Some Vietnamese veterans see echoes of their experience in this withdrawal in Afghanistan. Do you see any parallels between this withdrawal and what happened in Vietnam, with some people feeling...
None whatsoever. Zero. What you had entire brigades breaking through the gates of our embassy. 6, if I'm not mistaken. The Taliban is not the North Vietnamese army. They're not remotely comparable in terms of capability. There's going to be no circumstance where you see people being lifted off the roof of a embassy of the United States from Afghanistan. It is not at all comparable.
Right.
Indeed, the Taliban is not it's not Vietnamese Communist Army that seems to be stronger.
Right, and today, President Biden had a speech from the White House talking about the situation in Afghanistan, and he admitted that the fall of Afghanistan is surprising to his administration, and he explained the reason.
The truth is, this did unfold more quickly than we had anticipated. So what's happened? Afghanistan political leaders gave up and fled the country. The Afghan military collapsed, sometime without trying to fight.
Right, and he said he stand by his decision.
There was only a cold reality of either following through on the agreement to withdraw our forces or escalating the conflict and sending thousands more American troops back into combat in Afghanistan, lurching into the third decade of conflict. I stand squarely behind my decision. After 20 years, I've learned the hard way that there was never a good time to withdraw U.S. forces.
Yeah, and let's just take a look at what's going on in the airport of Afghanistan. So comparing to just now, what we saw in Saigon in 1975.
On a bigger scale, I guess. So helicopter and choppers has been working nonstop, evacuating people from the top of the roof of the U.S. embassy in Kabul. So exactly, what President Biden said won't happen. Okay, so this is a situation.
Yeah, but his explanation is the Afghanistan's government, they gave up. The military is not as strong as they thought.
Yeah. And
so what would be the consequence of the Afghanistan's fall? So obviously, people talk about how the Taliban just came back, right? Came back their power over there, and also how about the CCP?
Yeah, because we come from this in the background of China, and so inevitably we care a lot about the Taiwan and China and Taiwan Strait, okay? Because CCP always want to take over Taiwan, right? The reason why they have not done so is because the U.S. is standing by. Now, with the Afghanistan debacle, then how Taiwanese would think about that? How the world would think about that? How would Xi Jinping think about that?
Yeah, so actually CCP's mouthpiece, their state-run media actually just take the opportunity, really bash on United States, its credibility, its reliability from the angles of the allies. And so on it's been like the mouthpiece, the state-run media, Global Times, it had a editorial today saying that the title is Afghan Amendment, a lesson for Taiwan's DPP. Global Times editorial.
DPP is the ruling party of the Taiwan government.
Yeah, Democratic Progressive Party. And at the end, the editorial just said that it gave a warning to the Taiwan authorities saying DPP authority needs to keep a sober head. And just remind them, saying not, saying from what happened in Afghanistan, they should perceive what's once a war break out in the straits, the island's defense will collapse in hours. It's already giving a picture of what's going to happen, and it claimed that the U.S. military won't come to help. And as a result, the DPP authorities will quickly surrender, and even with some high-level officials may flee by plane. So it's like already, having a picture in its mind, and then it's warning the DPP, saying the choice is not to bound yourself with the United States. So basically, it the CCP government is exploiting this opportunity to divide Taiwan and the United States. So actually, people, if you notice, there are a lot of CCP's shadow behind the Taliban, right? So right after the CCP state councilor and the foreign minister Wang Yi met with the deputy secretary of state in the United States, Wendy Sherman, right? He right after that he met with the political chief of Afghanistan's Taliban, Barada. It said it's the number two person in Taliban. So the meeting was on July 28th. So really, Wang Yi gave him a high-profile reception, and since then, the CCP's propaganda machinery has quietly begun prepare Chinese people to accept the leadership of Taliban.
So let's look at how President Trump responded to this. And former President Trump sent out several statements today. And on his website, it's the Donald J. Trump, right? I just quickly say a few of them. It says Taliban quickly overtook Afghanistan and destroyed confidence in the American power and influence. The outcome in Afghanistan, including the withdrawal, would have been totally different if Trump administration had been in charge. Who and what will Joe Biden surrender to next? Somebody should ask him if they can find him. Anyway, another basically not tweet, okay, it's a statement, short statement, one sentence tends to be. It said that it's not that we left Afghanistan, it is the grossly incompetent way that we left. Afghanistan is the most embarrassing military outcome in the history of the United States. It did not have to be that way.